Hello, influential goddesses. Welcome to another day at our Influential Family podcast. Today's topic, as you already know, is going to be on freedom. I know how it feels like to be constantly chasing after the freedom to do the things you want to do, to attain financial freedom, the freedom to schedule our own time, freedom from our own negative thoughts. So, do you ever feel like it's like a dance though, where we're going back and forth with chasing after freedom? Whenever we feel like we're a step closer to freedom, something happens and then we're pulled back to where we first started. I know how frustrating it feels and I know how upsetting, you can get. So it doesn't have to be like this though. That is why in today's episode, I kind of want to talk about the common concept of freedom and break it down further for you as to why it feels so out of reach. Lastly, I'll share my opinions and thoughts on freedom and how you can actually attain freedom in a different way. So, enough said, let's get into it, shall we? So, before anything else, let's discuss the freedom that you're currently chasing after. So, one that we're all so familiar with. When we talk about desiring freedom, whether it's to be financially free or the freedom to actually manage our time, what we're really chasing after is happiness. Here's how I see it. We can all agree that everyone wants freedom one way or another, right? That's why you see people quitting their 9 to 5 job to start their businesses because that's how you get financial freedom. And at the same time, you get to manage your own schedule. You're no longer a corporate slave. At least that's what we all think. So we're addicted to the feeling of desiring freedom and happiness. We're addicted to the idea of this external thing that brings us some sort of happiness and joy. And this is completely delusional simply because it's not something that we can actually control. So let me explain. The idea you have about changing something outside of yourself is going to bring you freedom and happiness that you deserve is the start of all sufferings. The killer sentence that ends our freedom is this sentence that we love to say over and over and over again, 24/7 all day long. Like a broken recorder is, oh, I'll be happy when I get that thing, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure this is pretty familiar to you, or you've actually heard someone say this before. And the common theme here is that the currency for freedom is either time and or money. We are told that in order to get freedom, you either pay money to someone so that you can free up your time, or you give your time away to someone and in return, you earn money. So that is the transaction for freedom. So it really just boils down to these two things of time and money that you think will make you happier and achieve freedom eventually. So we're actually chasing after having enough time to make more money or having enough money to make more time. That's it. So, and if you fall under either of the categories, my question to you is that why is it that you're still unhappy? If it's as simple as that transaction that I just mentioned, why are you still not free? Or why are you still not satisfied or happy? Here's why. Because you want both. You want both time and money. You want everything. I get that. Who isn't, right? We look up to successful people who we think have both. The dream lifestyle that they have and the free time that they seem to have. We all want that, right? It looks amazing. So here's the truth. That's how it's being portrayed on social media, but that's not the truth. You realize that most successful people aren't always happy even when they seem to have it all. Desiring freedom and happiness is like offering yourself a contract under one condition. You get what you want. And usually, we never get what we want. We always want more. It's never enough, right? We're conditioned to never be satisfied. There will always be something that we want, we desire. And when we reach that goal, we move on to the next quickly. We're used to taking everything for granted. An example is right now, this moment, we have roof over our head, we've got clothes to wear, we're well fed, and communicating with each other through Wi Fi or through data or through an electronic device. When there are people who are asking themselves, where they're going to be sleeping tonight, starving, and they don't even have the time to think what more worry about their future and success. So, having money and time does not earn you the freedom and happiness that you desire. That's also the reason why you'll find that when we enter adulthood, we are less happy but more healthy. And when we're older, we are happier but less healthy. When you're young, you have time, you have health, but you have no money. When you're middle aged, you have money and you have health, but you have no time. When you're old, you have money and you have time, but you have no wealth. So, what we're all trying to get is all three at once, right? Money, time, and health, which is a little impossible if you were to think of it that way. By the time people realize that they have enough money, They've lost their time and their health. Freedom is being satisfied with what you have. Unless you're satisfied, you never have it all. Our desires comes from expectations, even though we may say that, oh, I don't expect anything out of it. Let's be real though. We do, and it's normal because we put in time and money into it. But with expectations comes disappointment, and I can guarantee you that 99% of the time you'll be unhappy and disappointed because then the freedom that you're chasing after would appear further away. That expectancy is also an entitlement where you feel entitled to achieve what you desire just because you are letting something go in exchange of time or money. When we get something, we assume that the world owes it to us. And that's entitlement. And that's the reason why we'll always remain unsatisfied and unhappy even after we achieve the freedom that we desire. If you don't know by now, that's not how life actually works. And that's why delayed gratification actually exists. That's why there's no overnight success. You only see what seems like an overnight success. I remember thinking that by quitting my 9 to 5 job, I would be happier because I'll have more time to manage my schedule, and the possibility of being financially free just gets me so pumped up. And as time passed, like every new entrepreneur, I was struggling to see results, and I quickly realized that even though I had the freedom that I wanted, I was unhappy because I wasn't financially free. And I thought that, money was the problem. And then when I finally reached my financial goal, I was already planning for the next financial milestone. I didn't have time, or I didn't want to kind of celebrate my win because I kind of took it for granted, and I was moving on to the next thing that fast. It was so quick, I couldn't even, think about wanting to celebrate my win. There's no such thing as financial freedom if you ask me. At least if you feel a need to constantly set a goal, there's no financial freedom. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a goal. We're humans, and having a goal keeps us motivated, and we have a purpose in life. What I'm saying is that if you're always relying on external factors like time and money, especially one with a timeline to determine if you'll be happy, you'll never find freedom, and hence, you'll never be happy. We rely so much on external factors that we have no control over, and we expect it to work in the way that we want it to, and if it doesn't, we feel as though the world is ending. No, it feels as if like everything is crumbling down, everything is not working out. You'll end up worrying about the things you can't control. If you are constantly allowing your environment or people around you to dictate what you can do or what you can't do, you'll forever be the victim of your environment instead of being the one that has control over it. No matter how much you may want to control your environment, you can't. It's so unpredictable, and that's the beauty of life, right? With all this in mind, I figured that, if I ever want to have both, it starts and ends with me managing my expectations and definition of freedom and happiness. Freedom and happiness to me used to look like, me living in a huge apartment overlooking the sea, being able to enjoy vacations whenever I want to without feeling guilty about it and without having to worry about my business. So this is the social media life that, is being portrayed. And I find myself constantly chasing the next big thing, the next goal. What's next? Next, next, next. At this rate, there was no way I'll be happy until the day I take my last breath on earth. And to change that, I'll need to change what freedom and happiness looks like for me. And so I did. Freedom and happiness is so different for me right now, if you were to ask me. It's being able to find peace with yourself, the silent corner in my mind where I know will have my back no matter what. I let go of the need to be in control, to plan, to be in the constant race with myself and others. That's freedom to me. It's not something I have to look for or to attain, it's already in me. I believe that all of us are meant to succeed. The reason why some of us don't is because we determine success based on external factors like money and what happens to us, which is out of our control. And that messes with our mind. We self sabotage. We don't believe that we can. We're so messed up in our minds that the negative self talk, the lack of confidence, the need to see material results, the pressure to meet societal expectations are constantly around. All these weeds that we plant in our minds need to go. The secret here is to not try to control anything, is to actually seek within that inner peace in you, the quiet place where you're able to make decisions from, a place that is not controlled by your expectations, where your thoughts and emotions will not waver regardless of the outcome that you see. Finding peace with yourself. Stop struggling. We're always in this constant war with our minds, trying to fight our desires with the results we see. We react based on our expectations of what the outcome should be instead of detaching our feelings and expectations of the outcome and seeing it from a neutral standpoint where our outcome doesn't mean anything. This will actually help us make decisions better. Remember that nothing means nothing until you put a meaning to it. When your mind is free and your thoughts are free to roam, you open yourself up to an abundance of wealth, positivity, and time. You have a clearer picture of your outcome instead of making it all about you, which looks something like, okay, the results aren't what I expect. So it means that something needs to change. Is it the strategy? Is it the energy behind it? What is it? Instead of going in with a, oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Why is it that, I put time and effort into this and it's still not working? Like, am I stupid? Or do I not have what it takes? Do you see the difference it makes? When the outcome is not tied to your self worth, your future, or your confidence, you'll operate better. You'll be happier and you'll be more free. Free from the negative self talk that we have. When you're present, you realize how much gifts and abundance there are around us. That's all you really need to do, is to be present. I'm here now and I have all these incredible things at my disposal. The most important trick to being free and happy is to realize that it's a skill you can develop. You just gotta make that choice to be happy and then you make decisions from that place. It's just like how you decide to start your business, right? You decide it's important to you prioritize it above anything else, and you take action on it. If you're obsessed with having a plan for everything like how I was, I would like to invite you to see it from a different perspective. It's not about how well you plan or how good the strategies are, it's about the energy and mindset behind it. Notice how every successful entrepreneur has been through their fair share of tough times, but what made them successful was the mentality that backed their actions, allowing them to think clearly and make decisions from a place of peace and trust whatever happens after, they will have the ability to solve it. That confidence that they have in, no matter what happens, I'll be able to solve it. I have what it takes to solve it. So freedom is built on small daily habits. Get over those with good mind medicine. I don't know about you, but I need good food to operate, and maybe that's coffee for you. The same goes for your mind. It needs good food to stay healthy and happy, away from all the negativity that society is trying to feed it. I find that drowning myself with books and podcasts helps not only to occupy my mind, but also to allow me to be more creative and explore the possibilities of changing my thoughts and how I view the world. Never let your mind go empty and have the time to indulge in negativity. The time that you're spacing out, try putting on a podcast or a book to occupy that space. And as time goes by, you realize that your mind would default to positive thoughts when shit happens. Another way is to actually meditate. I know this is a common one, but how do you actually do it is really crucial. I would block out time every day for a short meditation session. I know many people do an hour long or even longer meditation sessions, but I think when you're just starting out, it's probably a struggle for you to sit there for even like 5 minutes, right? So start small. That's part of building a habit, right? Start with 2 minute sessions and then work your way from there. So, what do you actually do when you meditate? It depends on what you're trying to get out of it. If you're looking to find a quiet place in your mind, for me, I would take 3 deep, slow breaths. For each breath that I take in, I would think of the things that I'm grateful for or positive thoughts. And when I exhale, I would imagine all the negativity that's just exiting my body. After that, I would focus on my breathing, and whenever my mind starts to wander, I would bring myself back to focusing on breathing. The key here is to not beat yourself up every time your mind wanders. It's normal, and that's the reason why you're actually doing this exercise. So, as you go on, you realize that you're able to go on for a period of time before your thoughts interrupts you, and that time would increase as you practice more. All you gotta do is to just bring it back to your breathing. It takes practice, but I promise you it's gonna be worth it. Stop asking how others are doing it, how others are actually living this life. You have the answers within you. Start by saying, let me try that. Wow, that's an amazing life. Let me try that. Now that's an action statement. Lastly is to share freely. Share your feelings, your thoughts. This may look like, you journaling or creating a post or even having conversations with someone. Whatever works for you. This is important so that you allow yourself to feel your emotions and acknowledge them instead of actually avoiding them. So be conscious of your thoughts and feelings. The more secrets you feel like you need to keep, the more unhappy and frustrated you'll feel. Allow yourself to have the time to purge your emotions. Sometimes it's okay to cry it out, write it out, scream it out, whatever that actually feels good to your body. Allow yourself to feel the emotions. Let it out. Alrighty, that's it for today's episode. I hope I open up a space for new thoughts to enter your mind. If you need someone to talk to or you're interested in working one on one with me, shoot me a DM to see if you'll be a good fit. Other than that, if you're not in our private influential family Facebook group, you're missing out on the fun. It's free. All the links can be found below. It would mean a lot to me if you could like, share, and subscribe anywhere you're listening to this so that we can continue to grow this sisterhood and connect with other goddesses. I can't wait to see you in my world. Bye!